What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Cinema Corner. Today I am bringing you a quick review for The Strangers Chapter 2, which is a sequel to last year's pointless remake of The Strangers from 2008. That original was a simple, R-rated home invasion slasher film, and there have since been several sequels, and this has turned into a whole franchise. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. If I'm remembering correctly, I gave the remake 1.5 stars. I think it is a completely pointless retread that does everything that the original did, but worse. The characters are no longer in their own home, they're in an Airbnb or something to that effect. They make even more stupid decisions, the relationship dynamic is different, everything about it just felt like a cash grab to me, and it served zero purpose. So I don't think I need to tell you that my expectations for Chapter 2 of this new Strangers trilogy were not very high. However, director Renny Harlin, who, if you ask me, has not made a single decent film since Deep Blue Sea back in the 90s, has gone on record and said that that remake from last year was necessary to push this trilogy into new territory and to tell the story that he wants to tell in this franchise. So I guess I was kind of willing to give him a second shot. And I guess my one hope for this is that maybe it wouldn't be as bad as the remake. At least we'd be getting something original. So, is The Strangers Chapter 2 better than Chapter 1 at least? No, it's really not. This is barely even a film. It is one great big 90-minute chase sequence. Obviously, there are moments of rest and reprieve in which our main character finds a quick scene to catch her breath behind a tree and patch up her wounds, and then it's straight back into the action. But there is no substance to this film. From the opening scene, Madeleine Petsch's character is stalked once again by the same trio of characters that assaulted her in the first film. She gets chased around in the hospital, then it's out into the woods, and then into a stranger's car, and can we trust these people? They might be bad. They probably are bad because they're acting suspicious. Why else would they be acting that way? Then we're straight back into the woods again, and then rinse and repeat over and over and over, and I understand that. And I'll acknowledge personally that if somebody told me that their pitch for a horror film was that it would be one great big chase sequence, I'd say, you know what, that sounds kind of unique. It could probably work, but you still have to give me morsels of something interesting to latch onto. And even when it comes to our main character, there's nothing interesting to explore about her trauma, anything that happened in the previous film. She is just a person who screams and runs away and tries to defend herself, and that's all there is to her. I like the original Strangers film. You know why? It was simple. It was scary. It's just about a married couple dealing with some tension in their relationship, suddenly experiencing a terrifying home invasion that tests their determination and will to live. The whole point of the movie is that we don't need to know why the strangers are doing what they're doing. In fact, the lack of a motive, as Billy Loomis would say, tends to be more scary. Our imaginations can come up with things that are far more terrifying than any answer that a screenwriter can provide. And there are brief segments in The Strangers Chapter 2 that give us a backstory for one character, and it's easily the closest that the movie comes to having any real substance. It's not good substance, mind you, but it is substance nonetheless. The problem is it answers questions that I don't need answers to. And it once again proves to me that this should never have become a franchise. It has no business being a 4-film series. As far as redeeming qualities go, Madeleine Petsch, she's good, but I mostly just feel bad for her because this is clearly a committed performance. She has to do a lot of running, a lot of physicality, and she has to get down in the dirt, in the grime, covered in fake blood. And I feel like she deserves a better movie to showcase those things. The first 10 minutes are decent slasher fun, I guess, but that's mostly just because I was still holding on to the illusion that at some point it would lead to an actual plot. In a distinct fashion that I can only describe as pointing the middle finger straight at your audience, the movie ends with a cliffhanger, one that is very similar to the cliffhanger in the first Strangers, only this time I feel like I got even less story out of this chapter. And so regardless of what you want out of this, I think it is aimless, repetitive, just an all-around complete waste of time. I'm going to give The Strangers Chapter 2 1 star. This is seriously in the conversation for being the worst horror film of the decade so far, and usually, even when I strongly dislike a film, I'm able to look past my subjective take on it and at least try to convey to my audience what to expect from it and how it will cater or not cater to their tastes. This is one of those rare cases in which I don't think I'd recommend this film to anybody, even if you strongly liked the first chapter in this new reboot. I feel like that movie, if anything, was setting up promise of taking the story someplace unique and different. And this totally fumbles the bag in terms of bringing it to any new territory. So those are my thoughts on the film. I hope you don't see this in theaters, but if you do have the distinct displeasure of watching it, be sure to let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe if you want more content like this. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.